Mokhtar, and this is Farouk A. Peru, an Islamologist from Subang Jaya. Farouk, last week or earlier this week, Hannah Yeoh, I think, is in the next constituency to you in Subang Jaya, but she's in Subang Jaya.
That's right.
She's also the youngest female assembly speaker, rather, in the Selangor Assembly. Now, there was some trouble concerning her, or rather, somebody made a police report against her. Is that right?
That's right. I mean, this is the latest incident in this episode where a senior lecturer in the University Utara Malaysia, Mr. Kamarul Zaman Yusof, made a police report against Hannah Yeoh for the contents of her autobiography, Becoming Hannah Yeoh, A Personal Journey.
So what's the problem then? What's the problem with the book?
Well, according to Kamarul, he said that when he read the book, it drove him to have a love of the Christian God. And this obviously goes against Malaysian law, because under Malaysian law it is forbidden for someone to preach a non-Islamic religion to Muslims.
Was she preaching?
No. I mean, if you read the book, there is nothing there in which she invites Muslims or anyone to share her faith. It is rather her account on how her faith was her inspiration to her life journey.
So this is how it all began. The book, him reading it, and then making the police report.
Well, no, the book firstly was written in 2014.
Okay.
And now 3 years out of the blue, Kamarul Zaman reads it and says, okay, well, Hannah Yeoh is a hypocrite. Why? Because she is mixing her religion with her politics. And DAP, as you know, Hannah Yeoh is a speaker for DAP. And DAP does not mix religion with politics. So Kamarul said, oh, okay, Hannah Yeoh is a hypocrite then.
But this is a book about herself. It's nothing to do with politics, right? Or party politics.
Well, precisely. And, I don't understand how Kamarul can make the jump from personal account to preaching at Muslims. I mean, this has no logical sequence there,
What is his background then, this Kamarul Zaman Yusof?
Oh, he's a lecturer in political science in the University of Utara Malaysia. Yeah, he did his thesis on PAS.
Okay, and he was reading this book. Why? Is it part of his reading material for his course, or was it just a book he picked up in the bookshop?
I don't know. I mean, if he picked it up 3 years ago, he has taken a very long time. Maybe he was reading just one page at a time, So finally he has digested the book and realized, now I'm feeling that I want to become a Christian. And God knows how he arrived at such a conclusion.
2014, and it's now 2017.
Yeah, we probably read one page a day, I guess.
Is there another reason, do you think?
Oh, it could be, a little bit of timing, just to press at the buttons of the Malays. The Malays will be like, oh my God, someone's trying to convert us to Christianity. We need to be extra careful now. Look at DAP, they're turning us into a Christian state. Such paranoia.
But do you think the Malay public will believe him?
See, the Malay public is not a homogeneous entity. There are layers and layers. Some of them are quite fundamentalist. They are very protective of their religious identity. And if they believe that Hannah Yeoh is trying to convert them out of Islam, certainly DAP will be demonized.
Doesn't this also mean that their faith is very weak?
One should think so, yeah, one should think so. I mean, if you have strong faith in your religion and someone comes and preaches at you, you should have some answers, especially for Malay Muslims who have gone through 11 years of indoctrination. I mean, come on, you're telling me you don't even know your religion?
11 years. Why the 11 years?
Well, 6 years in primary school and 5 years in secondary school.
Okay. Now, what is Kamarul Zaman's background, apart from being a lecturer? Has he had any achievements, of any noteworthy achievements?
None that I can. He has written a number of articles, mainly in support of BN, as far as I can see, yeah.
Okay. Now, the issues that you mentioned fanning the flames of religious sentiment. Why is this a problem in Malaysia?
Well, you see, in Malaysia, Malay Muslims have been under the system of protectionism. I myself, when I was younger, whenever I actually met a pastor when I was playing football, and this pastor didn't know I was a Malay, so he was sharing with me the gospel, and I was quite interested to listen, because I knew my religion and I knew it was a different religion. But when he realized, oh, this young boy is a Muslim, I can't preach to him, and that made me wonder, why can't he preach to me? At most I can think about what he's saying, right? But no, in Malaysia we have a protectionist system, and that is a system which inspires fear. And no religion should be born out of fear.
So this is what, 10, 20 years ago?
25 years ago.
25 years ago, and they were feeling it then, so it must be worse now.
Oh, definitely. Now, with the religious scholars demonizing Christians, claiming that even the Christians, when they use the word Allah, it becomes very confusing to Muslims. It's getting worse indeed.
So how do we get out of this mess?
To me, there is only one drastic answer: secularism. We need to remove religion from the public sphere, allow people to embrace whatever religion they want, and then it will be a level playing field. After all, Muslims preach to Christians every day. They literally have organizations which preach to Christians. Take, for example, Dr. Maza and his IQ Malaysia, a term which is very loosely named. He's raising money, and on the website of one of his associates, Rozaimi Ramli, it says that the money will be used for preaching. So what is he preaching, and who is he preaching to? Obviously he's preaching his version of Islam, and he's preaching to the Orang Asli, apparently, according to the website. So why is that okay? Why can't we talk freely about religion? Why is it wrong for Malays to listen to other people's religion, and it's okay for them to preach towards others?
So you're calling for total secularization.
I believe that is the cure, yeah.
Do you think there will be many Malays who will oppose this view of yours?
Oh, very much so.
So then what happens?
Well,
are you going to persuade them or encourage them?
Well, in my opinion, secularism is very Islamic. Why? Because the Quran, chapter 4, verse 58, tells us that when you judge between mankind, judge them equitably. So if you want people not to preach to you, you shouldn't be preaching to people. If you want to preach to people, allow them to preach to you. What do you expect them to do? Are you expecting them to listen to the gospel of Islam and suddenly say, yes, let's embrace it, and then when they ask you a question, you say, oh no, you're insulting Islam? That's Zakir Naik style religion.
Yeah. So he reads a book and he feels he's been converted. Christmas time, some of us are singing carols, or the shops are playing those Christmas carols. Are we going to be converted?
I don't know. I hope he wears earplugs when he walks past those shops, because he might suddenly listen to jingle bells and think, oh my God, this is beautiful, shall I just join? This is a lecturer, by the way.
Or when people say God bless you.
Oh no, unless they say Allah bless you, then you can't wish them back. Maybe, I don't know.
You were talking about pastors just now.
Yes.
What happened to Pastor Ko?
Pastor Raymond Ko has disappeared.
Yeah.
The police have not said anything, and we fear the worst has happened to him.
Yeah. Now, what do you think the government is doing about that one? Try and relate it to the Hannah Yeoh thing. Do you fear for her and stuff like that?
I do feel, I wouldn't say that would actually happen to her, but I do feel that Kamarul Yusuf has exposed Hannah Yeoh to fanatics. In making that police report, that accusation, some fanatics, not Kamarul himself, but some fanatics may think, oh my God, this woman is trying to convert Muslims. And that...
He didn't think before he did it.
Oh, I don't know if he did or not, but the point is, whatever he did was wrong. It was taking advantage of a situation and stretching the truth, as far as I'm concerned.
So, what's your advice to Kamarul, if you had one?
I believe Kamarul should retract his report and understand that non-Muslim Malaysians are allowed to express their faith. If they wish to tell the world how connected they are to God and to their religion, that's their right. They didn't start, distributing the books to Muslims saying, look, your Islamic religion is pointless, follow this instead. They didn't do that.
Yeah. So he may have an audience with the extremists in Malaysia.
I don't believe the extremists would even read Hannah's book, but the extremists would certainly get flamed.
Wind of this, yeah. So talking about extremism, a few days ago, David Yeoh was slapped on the face at a forum by an actor comedian called Matt Moore.
Matt Over.
Matt Over, yeah.
Yeah, Sulaiman Yassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and now the extremists are saying that they want the film producer,
David
Yeoh, to apologize. He was the one who was slapped. Now, what have you got to say about all the extremists, the Sulaiman himself?
Now, this is the thing which the sense of entitlement gives you. When you call yourself Tuan, or pemegang hak istimewa and all that stuff, you basically think that any kind of criticism is an attack on your Malay dignity, as such as it is. And when this happens, even though Matt Over himself did not give any kind of racial indication, he just said that he slapped David Yeoh because David Yeoh was being impolite to the Prime Minister. And then he said, well, I didn't hit him with a fist, I actually just hit him with an open hand, as if that makes it better.
And I think he also said, I wanted to teach him good manners.
I wanted to teach him good manners, exactly.
So do you slap somebody and that is the way you teach people good manners, by slapping them?
Only if you work in a tahfiz school. But not if you're a civilized human being, no. If I was Matt Over, and I used to admire him really, I love Pimai Tang too, back in the day. If I was Matt Over, I would have stood in front of David Yeoh and said, excuse me, sir, you're being impolite, please address the Prime Minister in a more polite tone.
But that should have been the job of the moderator, not a member of the audience, because then we might have a slanging match.
The moderator and another actor of whom I'm a big fan, Rosham No, apparently said, dia ni kurang ajar, or he is actually rude, referring to David.
Okay.
Hence the moderator was not really very, very moderate.
Yeah. And the job of a moderator is not to insult people or belittle them.
Exactly.
Yeah, he should have taken his command, his comments in his stride, and then
right.
Because now we don't even know what the question he asked, David Yeoh asked.
No.
Everything is lost because of that one incident.
Well, maybe that is what the intention was all along. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, to me, the Prime Minister should always stand or sit in a forum where people can go and openly ask him questions. And being the Prime Minister, being in command of the government, he should have logical answers. This is not too much to ask. This is a basic function of government. If the Prime Minister is hidden by his entourage, then how on earth is the normal member of Rakyat going to get across to him his point? I mean, only I think today I read there is a family of 6 people living under a flyover. So what's the point of talking about TN50 if we have people living under flyovers?
Yes.
These are just pie in the sky ambitions which detract us from the social problems at hand.
Yeah. So what's your advice to Sulaiman Yassin?
My advice is, please don't say that you're trying to correct David. There would be a dozen other ways for you to do so. What you did is contravening to our polite Malay manners. Malay people are nice people. We are not such people who go slap other people out of nowhere. It's ridiculous. And to those Malay ultras who are demanding that David Yeoh apologize because it's not part of our culture to do it, I'd like to ask them, is it our culture to slap people? Because it's against the law. Why don't you tell Sulaiman Yassin or Man Over to apologize. No, that you actually approve. But asking David Yeoh to apologize, that's okay. That's double standards.
Yeah, but then you see, David Yeoh himself has said he wouldn't press charges. So people are looking at it very oddly.
Yeah. I mean, that's inexplicable to me. I don't know why. I think for the sake of justice, we need to bring this man to book on Man Over. We need to tell him, look, we can't have people slapping other people, whoever they are.
And have you heard anything from the moderator? What's he said?
The moderator's been silent thus far.
Yeah.
I've not heard from the moderator.
Yeah, because it was under his watch. I mean, he should have controlled
Exactly.
But then you see, there's also the silence from the Prime Minister. Shouldn't he also be saying something about this violence in public?
Indeed. Yeah. He should have repudiated this violence and dissociated himself from it. I mean, he's obviously a peaceful man. He would not do something like this himself. So why is he silent about when a person does this seemingly to protect his dignity? He should say, I'm sorry, my dignity is not under threat by this man David Yeoh's words, and certainly you don't need to slap him.
Yeah. A final message then for the extremists in Malaysia trying to stir up trouble using any excuse. What have you got to say to them?
Stop using your paper thin excuses. The Rakyat are very aware of what you're doing, and if you expect David Yeoh to be within our cultural paradigm, please also ask Man Over to keep within our legal sphere.
Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the session with us about Hannah Yeoh and also about the slapping incident in Putrajaya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Farouk.
Thank you.